Good day, Spread Love family. As many of you know, month of November is all about giving back, and we highlight a great cause, a great human being every single week. And with Veterans Week here, we have our good friend, Mr. Mark Matthews, that served the military. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right, doing okay. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Honored to have you here today, brother. Thank you so much for being here and shedding light on the stories. At Spread Love, our focus is to bring awareness to causes all around the world. And we simply want to say thank you, sir, for being here. So I want to take a moment and say thank you. Today, we're going to have a great conversation about what vets go through and their service. Mark, can we start out by telling the Spread Love viewers more about yourself and how you served our country?
Sure. I retired from the Army in 2017 after 20 years, 20 plus years in the Army. Um, I've had various assignments from overseas in Germany to Washington, D.C. I've traveled with my family the whole time. I have 4 or 5 combat tours uh, throughout the Middle East and a couple of other places in the world. I'm currently a contractor right now, retired as a contractor now. Live in the, how do we say, the veteran / civilian life, trying to blend into my environment.
Yeah. Well, sir, thank you for your service to our country. Thank you for the dedication and risking your life for our safety. I can say for all our viewers here that we're honored to have you and honored to have your soul as a part of our great service to the world and protecting our country. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mark, that's an honor, man, for sure. Mark, what are some of these experiences that you cherish serving our country?
Serving in the military is an experience that I'll never forget. It builds esprit de corps. You are able to influence lives. People join the military from all walks of life.
Right.
The wealthy, the poor, the challenged, male, female. Everybody joins the service, not so much the Army, for different reasons. Some join to get out of a bad neighborhood.
Right.
Some join for college. And the things that I enjoyed about the military the most is, one, we're all serving for one cause, which brings us together as a team, whether these young individuals that join or not realize it, but they're a part of a team that's bigger than they'll ever be. And that's one of the takeaways that I will always cherish, is I was a part of a team that was actually bigger than myself.
That's what we're about, right? We're about a bigger purpose than ourselves. And I think, I could relate with you on that. Not serving my country as protecting, but serving my country in this world for something bigger than ourselves, right? Spreading our love, helping people in need. And that's why our cause here today is because I want to bring awareness to veterans, because I think this week, especially being at Veterans Week, right? I think a lot of people just post Happy Veterans Day, right? But they don't touch points on how veterans, they come back and they're not the same, right? Like, I don't think the posts do enough. And I'm a man of service and I'm a man of awareness. And I truly want to bring more awareness to veterans because they need attention, right? And I think you, being a vet, you can shed light on this question here. Like, what are some of the difficulties that veterans face today?
Well, for one, I want to appreciate Spread Love. I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity and this platform to talk about it.
Honor.
Service members need as they exit the service. And when I say service members, although I served in the Army, I
Hmm.
say service members of all branches. Um, One of the things that I've noticed that they need the most is more education prior to getting out on symptoms of which that a lot of us hide while we're with that team.
Right.
We hide those symptoms of possible concerns before we get out because, well, everyone on the team has a problem.
Yeah.
Everyone on the team has their own lives, and within those lives, outside of the team, that's the team doesn't. The team has no clue what's going on as long as you get the job done. Um, Service members, it's such a touchy. It's a really touchy area for me. As I retired in 2017, I noticed that I had some issues prior to getting out that being I was being seen for, but I didn't realize the impact of them until I actually got out of the military. And a lot of service members don't realize that until they get out. They say a lot of service members, once they get out of the military, they usually work 3 or 4 jobs and get fired from 2 of them until they find the one that actually they can learn to accept. I guess that's the word I want to use. A service member that gets out of the service that has nothing to do, in my eyes,
Right.
um, is kind of like a time bomb waiting to happen. They need to stay busy. They need to employ the skills that they've learned in the military. They need to give
Right.
back to their community just like they did their country. There are a lot of opportunities out there for service members. Um, I just think that the Army program used to be Soldier for Life. I think now it's Army Transitioning Program, offers um, um, a lot of things for service members to tap into as they get ready to get out. But you know, when you're in the military and you get ready to get out, all you want is that DD 214 and you want out. The programs are great, but the DD 214 is like gold. I think the Army, and I say the Army because I'm a service member, so I think the Army, we should slow that process down a little bit.
Right.
Slow the service member down. I say service member is now everybody, and tap into some of the counseling prior to exiting the service.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Like, being that we don't realize, right? I say we as service members, right? Don't realize that we have issues coming out. I was gonna ask you, what do you recommend before they exit the army or military? What should the army and military be doing for the potential vets? And
Well, my wife and I actually just talked about this morning. So I'm going to give you 2 views very quickly. I'm going to give you the spousal view first. My wife and I have been married 24 years. I've been lucky enough to keep her, or I should say, I've been lucky enough for her to keep me. I'll talk about the spouse real quick. 24 years of military, multiple combat tours. Um, my wife has adopted she's adopted my personality, my everything.
right.
Um, that needs to be addressed for those service members that are getting out. There needs, I would recommend, if there isn't already, something in place for the spouses, and then the husband or the wife,
Hmm.
and then the service member separately, and then them together. Um, I think it's very important. Uh, there's no shame in my game here. My wife and I have had several marriage counselings.
Right.
It helped. I'm an advocate for marriage counseling.
Right.
I've been married 24 years, so it's helped, and it's very humbling for both of us, especially as I go through some of the issues that I face, such as PTSD and just being a veteran now, not a service member, a veteran.
Right. 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 And I think maybe if you want to talk about this from your own perspective or just in general, Mark, can you talk a little bit about PTSD and how it truly can affect a person?
So PTSD. Well, first I'll tell you what. When I was in the service, PTSD was nothing that we wanted. No service member wants to talk about.
Right. I was going to ask, as a frowned upon by other
It
service
was
members.
kind of a joke. It was something that we kind of kicked around the team room a little bit. I think I have myself, just speaking about myself, I think I've always had a form of PTSD uh, in the form of being emotionless.
Okay.
I've had to be emotionless um, because of some of the jobs and the assignments and the places that I've been around the world and some of the things I've had to do. Emotion doesn't really play a part in that game. I recently spoke to a friend of mine who came up to me that asked me about PTSD, as we're talking right now.
Right.
And he was telling me he recently retired, and he was telling me that he's been um, getting angry for no reason.
Right.
And it's a form of PTSD for veterans that I have noticed. Is just my observation on speaking to a lot of my service members, and that they all get out angry, very very angry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but they're angry, and that's the first step of something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I mean, don't
It
you
took
know?
me a long. It took me a long time.
We don't have a switch, right, Mark? Like, we don't have a switch.
No,
We can just when we're in the service, I would say you're firing weapons. I guess you have to be angry, correct? To in certain aspects. Do you agree with that or not really?
there is a time, and there is a time in the military where anger is success.
Exactly.
Um, Anger is success, and it's embedded into us
Mm-hmm.
at basic training. The drill sergeant wants to get you angry so you breach the obstacle. If he gets you mad enough at him or mad enough at yourself, then you'll breach that obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that tailors over into the years of service and the years of combat deployments. It becomes a survival skill. And when you get out, you can't turn it off. Like you said, we can't just flip the switch. So we need help. We need to talk to somebody that we can trust,
Right.
to try to have this conversation like we're having, and get tools in our tool bag to mitigate some of these things. I say tools because it's tools to help you overcome situations.
Right.
And that's why it's important. That's why I think it's important. The PTSD conversation for me, brother. I try to stay on track with it. This is the first conversation that I've ever had with anybody where I am outwardly saying that I have PTSD. It's very hard and very difficult for me, but it is a fact. I deal with it every day. Um, my family deals with it, um, but nobody else sees
Well, I appreciate you sharing that with me. It makes me I'm honored that you feel comfortable enough to share 23 years of your service, right? And now outwardly speak about something that other service members are not proud of saying. You know, we touched back on that a few minutes ago, how this is not the proudest moment. And then, you know, going into it a little bit more with PTSD, people don't know, right? They could see you smiling and they think you're okay,
it.
right? Like I could just say right now, my life is beautiful. To the viewers, they would say, "You're right. Look at you're smiling. Look at you, Mark. Nobody could tell,
Yeah,
right? You're smiling." Or if you have a handicap sticker on your car and
yeah,
park in a handicap spot, they see a gentleman like
absolutely.
yourself come out of this spot looking like I want to be this man when I grow up, and they say, "Where's his handicap? What is he disabled with?" But they don't, you know, it's frowned, like you're right, it's frowned upon. You know, I've had my own issues and I'm not going to talk about that because it's not about service and anger and stuff like that. But I've had my own things about thoughts, and it's like quicksand, right? Like you just go into a thought and you just never come out of it. It's just like
Yeah,
all of a sudden, you're like, okay, well, what am I doing? Like you're sitting still, you're looking, you're daydreaming, but you're really like envisioning like a nightmare. Is that right? Like it is.
yeah. You know, the it's ironic because so I have a disabled veteran handicap
Right,
license plate,
right,
and there's been several times where I'll park in a handicap parking, which I really try not to. I am physically able to walk,
right.
um, uh, from a distance, so I try not to. But I have had several occasions where I get out of my vehicle and I've had someone say, they'll walk by me and say, well, he doesn't look handicapped to me.
Yeah,
And it, it angers me, but he's looking at the outside, so he
right,
doesn't know me inside.
exactly.
Um, my handicap is not of the physical nature where you can see it.
Mhm.
Um, it's internal, and for that same reason is why I don't want to park in that parking space in the first place. Nor do I want that tag on my truck,
Right.
because I don't want people to look at me as, well, he can't be handicapped. Why does he got that?
They're judging you based
Yeah,
upon.
I don't want to be judged like that. So that's a little difficult at times. It is a little difficult.
Right, right, right. Can't imagine. You know, I can't imagine. Mr. Mark, I gotta ask you, being someone that has PTSD, right, and went through the battles, and what's your advice for someone who's going through something similar, right? Like the platform is yours. So, like, what would you say to a fellow vet that's going through this, or to somebody that's coming out of the service soon? What's your advice to them since you lived it?
My advice is, mm, you know who you are. You know what issues you have going on. The only person that can help you is yourself. And surround yourself around people that are having the same, that are getting out. I recently went to a PTSD group
Hmm.
here. I live right outside of Fort Campbell. And it was a group of individuals that were, I hate to use this phrase, but it was kind of like an AA meeting, right? But, you know, we all sat around and they were just talking their life experiences. And I think when you sit around other individuals and you listen to their life experiences,
Right.
it helps you deal with yours. I will tell you that I don't consider myself a hero. People tell me thank you for your service all the time, and I tell them thank you more,
Right.
more so than you'll ever know. Service members getting out of the military, I would say if I was talking to a service member getting out right now,
Right now, yeah.
I would tell them you need to go to counseling as you start to out process. And you need to make sure you schedule yourself monthly or every quarter counseling meetings with a counselor. You're going to encounter, you're going to develop things that you're not going to know why. You're going to sit in front of the television, you're going to watch a commercial, and little tears going to come from the side of your eye, and you're not even going to know why you're crying. You're not even going to know. You're going to be mad because the refrigerator sticks. And that these things happen. My advice to any service member as you get out, humility, brother, humility, sister. Go talk to somebody sooner than later. Don't wait until you got fired from 5 jobs because you cussed people out and you just couldn't, you got a rage and you couldn't control yourself. Get
Yeah,
help.
yeah, don't wait till it's too late. I could definitely
Mhm.
respect that big time. And I hope the viewers, right, that have a service member in the military at the moment could tell them that. And, this is education. I think this is education that is probably not, I haven't heard too much of this. I've done a little bit of research. That's why I'm doing this with you today. Um, and like we had a conversation, we want to bring awareness to vets, not the smile that they put on and say we're okay, right? We know that they're not.
Mhm.
They come back
Yeah.
different. Like you said they come back different, and I could totally imagine that they come back angry. They come back in their own head, and they're their own worst enemy.
Yeah.
And like you elaborated on, the way of trying to come back to the positive is you got to be your own best friend. And I think we could all take that with us, right? I think it's knowledge and free game for us all because we all are our own best friends and we all are our own worst enemies, right? And I think for the vets, you touched the point on it. Stay strong, surround yourself with the right people,
Yeah.
people that are going through the same thing where they're not judging you, and you could feel like, hey, I'm not alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think
Vets are always going to feel, you go from, and this was taught to me when I get out, well, while I'm in, I'm a service member. And then when you get out, you're a veteran. You'll never be a civilian. You'll be a veteran. You'll never be a civilian.
mm, powerful,
And
powerful.
you are not the same person that you were before you joined the service. You're just not the same person. You can never go back to that person again.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Mark, I gotta ask you something for our viewers, right? What can collectively as a society, right? What can we do to help vets? What do you think veterans need the most from people like ourselves or their family members? The floor is yours.
Brother, that's a loaded question. That's a big one. You put
Well,
that on little old me, my shoulders, man. um,
hey, listen, you've been through it, right? And
yeah, oof,
you don't gotta fire all the shots right now. It's a loaded question, but
yeah,
feel free to answer that one as best as you can because I think our viewers here care.
yeah,
Otherwise, they wouldn't be part of the Spread Love family, right?
absolutely, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I just appreciate me being able to talk to you on this platform. I would tell you, what do veterans need? Oof, I would say when a veteran is quiet and they're not talking and it seems as if they're distant, they're really not. They're actually okay. It's just they sometimes we get quiet and get in our own way. Just give us a few minutes and we'll regroup and get right back into the conversation or the socialization that we were the social event that we were having.
Right.
Um, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but I want to tell you this.
Yeah.
When I am told thank you for your service,
Mm-hmm.
it means so much to me that some veterans and even some of the ones that I talked to, they feel guilty for accepting that. And I don't have a reason why. I don't have a reason why. They feel guilty for accepting thank you for your service. And I think it's because the service that they've done for their country. It's for their country, and so it was bigger than them. So when someone says thank you for your service, it's almost like they're very shy to accept that. And at least I know I am sometimes when someone tells me thank you for your service. I appreciate it, but it's like, wow, I know young kids that joined the service, E4s, and went over into combat and did jobs a lot more difficult than mine, never made it back.
Exactly.
I say to them, thank you for your service. Um, so it's kind of difficult. I think what can society give to a veteran
Yeah.
on Veterans Day? Just I know this is gonna
In
sound
general,
crazy.
in
This is
general,
coming from me. A
in
day of
general.
peace, just a day of peace. Um, just give them a minute to take a knee and drink water. Um, let them reflect. Let them cry. Let them be angry.
Right.
Let them be upset. Her, let her be upset. Let her be angry. Um, just a day of peace. A lot goes through a veteran's mind and head on Veterans Day. The brothers and sisters they've lost, the places that they've been, the near death experiences that they've encountered. So much. We're always reflecting back on our friends that didn't make it back, things that we could have done differently. So I think that thank you for your service. It's so huge and it's so impactful. It's like how do I accept this? Thank you for your service. When my buddy, Staff Sergeant Coleman, he never made it back. You know, so it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough. But I think a day of peace. I don't know if that's the correct answer, and I don't even know if I have the right answer.
Oh, well, listen, any knowledge of from a vet, how can society help vets? Anything you say is better than us guessing what should we do, right? Like,
Yeah. I know a guy, he almost shook my hand one day. He didn't tell me thank you for my service, but he went to shake my hand, shook my hand, got
yeah,
in my truck and got all emotional. I was like, that guy, what this guy? You know, this guy's thanked me for my service, but without saying it, just shook my hand and looked at me. And the way he looked at me said 1,001 words, got in my truck. And I was like, man, this guy messing me all up.
yeah. I mean, I think more than the people in the service could know, civilians do appreciate all the sacrifices,
Yeah.
the mental sacrifices, right? You risked your lives for us to be safe, so we can say good morning to our neighbors without planes coming over our head.
Yeah.
You know how it goes, right? Like
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
live in a country where we're safe. There's other countries that don't have it as good as
Yeah.
us,
There are other countries out there that, yeah, they don't have it like we do. You got that right.
and we just need to learn how to appreciate our fellow neighbors, our servicemen, the people that risk it all for us, right? That put their lives on the line, and Mark, I really want to thank you for sharing your story and being so open with our Spread Love family and our viewers here. And I'm going to be highlighting, when I say we're going to be highlighting a special product that we're going to give 100% of the proceeds to an organization of your choice that brings awareness and help to PTSD veterans, right? And on top of that, we're going to do a 25% donation from all our proceeds to the same organization because we want to
Great.
see vets smile, right? And their smile to be a real smile. And
Yeah. 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 Right.
and it's not a
Mm.
fake one that says, "I'm good," right?
Yep, 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 exactly. Well, I'll tell you, my organization that I back up, they've been with me since I retired, is the
Right.
Wounded Warriors Project. Just this weekend, Saturday, did a 5K event here in Nashville,
Yes, sir.
um, and it was a great event. Um, uh, Excuse me for not remembering the title of the run, but there were three rules to the event. It was either you have to carry another brother veteran 5K, or you had to wear, you could carry a flag, run with a flag, or a unit flag, or it was I think either a weight, some type of weight, or a combat vest
Mm.
for the 5K event. And it's really huge here. The Wounded Warriors program, Wounded Warriors Project does a lot for service members with PTSD. Um, that I know they would be honored to receive donations from, especially your program, which is a great program. They'd really be honored, and I think you would be definitely pleased with where that donation is going to as well too.
Consider it done. They sound amazing. They sound
Yeah,
they're doing their part, and us as a society want to help. Us as an organization, as a mission, as a movement, as the leader of this movement, this is something that I'm very
yeah,
passionate about, right? I want to help. I want to do as much as I can for the world, for our country, for our vets, for our service members. And guys, if this is something that resonates with you, I hope it does. Please go on our website. Please purchase this product that we're going to announce as well. As also, by making any kind of contribution on our website, we're going to be helping the Wounded Warriors Project. Mark, like I said, it's an honor and it's a privilege. It's a privilege. I want to use the word privilege because we found each other through a mutual friend, Grant Thomas, and we clicked, and you told me a lot of things about your life that I was shocked. I'm like, wow, he doesn't really know me and he's telling me these things. And for you to open about your story to the Spread Love family, first and foremost, what else can I say other than thank you? And we really appreciate you, sir. I get
well, the
emotional.
honor is all mine, and
I
it's a
get emotional
privilege.
thinking about what you've done. And I know you don't like
No,
to hear it, and I'm not gonna call you that, but you are.
no,
Can I
you're
say
the
the
hero,
Can
brother.
I
Let
say
me
the
tell
H
you,
word?
no,
Mark,
man,
let me say the
no.
H word one time. You are a hero. You are a
You
lifer.
are the hero. Your program, the Spread Love program, are all heroes.
I appreciate that.
I am not the hero, and uh,
We do have passionate we do have a passionate community that loves to help people, right?
yeah, you do, you do, you
And
do,
we
and
are
the honor is all
and,
mine. I'm just a little guy.
we're led by a therapy dog
There you go.
that
I tell
is
you
so
what.
passionate about uplifting others, right? Like he's right back there, but he's really sitting right
Mhm.
here. And before I hang this up, I want to also talk about how dogs come into PTSD and they help the vets. They're their lifeline. And people don't understand that this person is going through depression, this person is going through anxiety, this person is going through hell. But this animal here, this dog, whatever kind of dog it was, it went through specific training to
Yeah.
understand that you're about to have a relapse of a moment, and this dog knows that. He knows when he or she is going to go into those thoughts, snaps it
Mhm.
out of it. And animals are so powerful, man. they're so powerful. I got to shed light on the service dogs for our service members too during this call, because I think that's something also that, in my opinion, vets could reach out to other organizations and get help with as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a friend of mine actually that has a service dog, and I tell you, she lives by herself,
Yeah,
and that service dog is it's her everything. And I'm just so amazed at how tentative her dog is to her. That dog knows her um, better than she probably knows herself. It's really actually amazing.
sticks to the hip, knows everything. I can't explain it. I never had a dog before this one, right? I never had a dog before Polo, but he came into my life and stuck by my side, got me out of my thoughts, got me out of my depression, got me out of whatever I'm going through, brought me into the light, brought me into this park in October 15, 2013, and walked into a survivor and knew that this individual, this woman right here, this warrior, she fought, she needs his love. He just knew, like, you can't explain it. Like he just, animals are, this one specifically, but I would put my dog over everybody's dog, right? Animals have that instinct. They know that somebody needs them and they're there for them. And we got to highlight these dogs because they are veterans too, right? They stand by.
They're absolutely amazing. I know we're getting ready to end this. I will tell you, because we're talking about dogs here. A really close friend of mine lost his dog actually in Afghanistan. And the story is very touching. My buddy is a type A personality, as most of us are, but it impacted him extremely, and it impacted the team as well. The short version of the story is the dog actually took small arms fire for the team that was getting ready to be ambushed. The dog was barking to try to tell the master that something wasn't right, and him and the team were doing something else. And so the dog actually ran towards the enemy, and they began to fire. And if the dog wouldn't have ran towards the enemy, then you know what the outcome would have been. And so it was a very emotional moment and a very emotional time, even for myself, because that animal is not just an animal.
No,
it's not just an animal. It's a soldier. It's a service member. It's a Marine. It's a sailor.
right.
Very impressive. Very impressive. So, and that's another reason why I love your program so much as well.
Wow. Beautiful animal risks his life for the team. Wow. God bless. Thanks for bringing those emotions out, Mr. Mark.
Here we go.
Mr. Mark, again, salute you, sir.
No, man, I'm gonna salute you, brother.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
You
God
too,
bless,
man.
God bless your wife for, like you said, she adapted your personality and she took on your PTSD with you, and she's with you fighting, and she's with you every step of the way. And please send her our love and regards, and all the service members, partners. We send you a lot of appreciation for what you go through as well.
Yeah, I'll tell her. Trust me. That's she's a one of a kind woman to put up with someone like me. You can believe that.
Not that bad, man. Come on.
No, I put her through some stuff. Boy, I tell you what, she's a soldier through and through.
Yeah. Well, you're our soldier, man, and we appreciate you. And
I appreciate you too.
God bless you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. My pleasure.